Okay, call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners on December 15th.
Commissioner Ernst,
Here.
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins,
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsang, here, Commissioner Wright.
Here. Okay, any changes to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to public requests. We'll open the floor to public requests and you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Hagquist. I live at 5710A Coach House Circle. I'm the one that is known as the voice of the Gopher Tortoises. And lately, I've been known as the voice of our wonderful urban forest and all the wildlife at Sugar Sand Park. It's my understanding that the ball fields project is now on hold until after the March elections. I think this is a very good thing. However, the city council is wasting $125,000 to have someone draw up plans for ball fields. Overwhelmingly, the city residents do not want more ball fields at Sugar Sand Park. People love the forest and the picnic areas, and for many of us who live in communities who do not allow outdoor grills, Sugar Sand is our go-to for cookouts. The picnic areas need renovation, the scrub needs cleaning up, and the forest needs cleaning. Add walking and jogging trails. Recreation is more than playing ball. Also, the East residents in Boca want their facilities to remain in downtown and east. The tennis center needs more courts and ball fields need renovations and more added, again, in East Boca. We do not want the Frisbee green space west of 2nd Street. In fact, we don't even know what it is. They keep telling us it's world-class, state-of-the-art, whatever that is, but whatever it is, we don't want it. Also, we do not want changes to Memorial Park. Especially our veterans are adamant about this. They want it kept the way it was. Keep that the way it was, renovate it. No more Frisbee monoliths and benches and whatever else they want to put in there. Please listen to what the Boca residents want for their recreational facilities. Frisbee can fly away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I might?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you for coming. Do you go to the city council meetings? Okay, because that speech is more directed towards city council. City council is totally funding the softball fields should they be built. City council is involved with Terra Frisbee. We are not. Okay. Any trees that are removed as a result of anything we do are replanted or replaced 1-to-1. I just want to make that clear and for the record. Well, that's the city. And again, that's something that you need to take up with the city. We're more personally, and I think I speak for the rest of the commissioners, we're more than happy to have you here and have you speak. But I just want to make sure that you understand all the whys and wherefores that are involved. So please, by all means, if you speak to the city, that's great. We are only following their lead. If the city should decide that no softball field should be built at Sugar Sand, then they won't be built. That's not going to be our call. So.
Oh, sorry.
Ma'am,
Sorry.
ma'am.
Hold on 1 second. We can't speak from here. It's only from the microphone. So let's move on to next.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other for public comment?
My name is Harold Chappie, 6200 Northwest Second Avenue, President Keep Golf from Boca. I read the agenda, I read it, I would have liked in the agenda if you would have put in basically what the line items were, what the price was that was quoted for different items. It would have helped us to make a decision of they as taxpayers, what should be, what, I know you talked about eliminating different things on the east side, but I'd like to see what was left. The other thing too is I really don't know what, we talked about this in the beginning, and it was the sustainability. I don't know what sustainability means. If you could explain to it, I would like it. Is that, and what it would cost to do the sustainability versus doing whatever. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Art Turple, 19155 Fairlawn Way, Boca Raton. First, I just want to thank the district for, at 4 o'clock today, I got my probably 5th email in the last week that the pickleball courts at Patch Reef are at full capacity tonight. And if you didn't sign up early enough, you can't play. And that's a good thing. What I'm telling you is I hope you realize how popular and how wonderful that place is right now. It's just, and that's depending on why the rain and the wind, it's anywhere from 200 to 250 reservations they're taking before they cap it out. So that gives you some idea. That's twice a day now. They have a morning reservation spot and an afternoon reservation spot for open play. So it gives you an idea. I think when we came here originally, I know some of you looked at us like we had 3 heads talking about this crazy sport of pickleball. And Patch Reef is an example of how successful and how wonderful it is in this community. So thank you very much for allowing that to happen. And it's going to continue as the city gets better and better at running it. It's going to continue to be just a great place to play. So thank you. I'm going to switch my hat around and I'm going to put my soccer hat on. I know the staff in the district are working on an interlocal agreement for Spanish River Park. I hope that I don't know where it stands at this point, but I hope we'll continue to follow through as we've run out of fields. We're a shortage for fields and we really don't know what's going to happen at FAU down the road. So hopefully we can continue to follow up on that. And I know the district is committed to move forward to help with more fields at Spanish River. So thank you for that. But the clock is ticking and hopefully we can keep it moving along. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Brianne has an update.
Just to let you know, the Dormley Phase 2 agreement is in the city's hands, so they have their legal counsel reviewing it. We're just waiting to hear back about any changes. We have not got a first round of comments from them yet.
Thank you.
And just for you, for the pickleball thing, first of all, the wait's too long now, because there's too many people. But they also did send an email out saying that if you're not going to be at open play, because it's so easy to book, to cancel because there's a lot of people, and then you're going to get penalized if you don't show up and you don't cancel, which is a good thing. So then people just won't book and then not show up, because I think a lot of people were doing that too. So hopefully people will pay attention to that. So
They have just real quick, they have a survey at the pickleball facility there for people to weigh in on programming and how it's working out. So as you guys go there and play, encourage people to take that survey. We also have a survey there. We'll talk about that later, but staff did put out a survey just to assess how open play and the other programs are going.
okay. Pass it along.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else for public comment?
My name is Maria Mitchell. I live at 5340 Northwest 2nd Avenue. And I'm not sure, having seen the agenda and some of the things mentioned in there, whether or not they're still going to do the skateboard park in the southeast quadrant. Because it seems like a lot of things now are put on hold. And I never really saw a need for that there. I'm just not sure, but, so I just want to kind of express my objection to it. So I'm not sure how that stands.
We don't have an update as of right now. As of right now, it's still, yeah, we're still planning for that. And there is a session on Wednesday, I believe, this week for public input on the skate park in terms of what skaters want and to see where they're at with the design. So
Will they still keep the skateboard park that's down in downtown in the Memorial Park?
probably not, but that is a city decision based on what ends up happening with the downtown.
Yeah.
But whether it stays there or not, it is outdated and it's not a very good skate park anymore. So we're still moving forward with the skate park for North Park.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Hello, Commissioners. Robert Duquette, 5351 Northwest Third Terrace. First of all, I want to wish everybody happy holidays. I think this is the last meeting of the year. And I know it seemed like it's been a long year, but again, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you especially for acquiring the North Park property from Boca Chica. I've talked to a lot of people on a frequent basis, and everybody wants to keep green space. That's one of the main things, although some people are anxious to get something done. I can tell you, as the lady just pointed out, there's a great deal of opposition to a skate park by the neighboring condos there and the residents. And if you look at other skate parks, including one we just announced in Port St. Lucie, not around any residential areas. You look at the one in Ocala that was referenced when this first came out, not around any residential areas. This is incompatible for any residential area. So please keep that in mind when you think about a skate park in a residential area. It's not compatible. Also, it's great to see Miller Lake representatives here. I mean, after reading the agenda and seeing bids for $33 million to almost $50 million for some trails, I'm sure that everybody's jaw must have dropped. I would think that have been following this. I thought $22.5 million was a lot that was in the budget for that. So it'll definitely be interesting to hear, as Mr. Chaffee pointed out, you know, what was the real cost that pushed this over the top? Was it because of the environmental abatement and mitigation? Is that the main problem? And if so, what are the uses that will be compatible? So hopefully we won't have to spend, you know, $30 to $50 million. That seems, as a taxpayer, you know, quite exorbitant. And like I said, even in $22.5 million, a lot of people had questioned that figure. At this point, it sounds like golf might be the cheapest way to go when it comes, especially if you don't have to do any dirt or any mitigation or abatement from any past chemicals that might have been used. And thank you, but I think the important thing is that keep compatibility and affordability in mind when you're looking at any proposals. Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Good evening. I'm at 5500 Northwest Second Avenue, Condo 3, Michael Schneider. All right. Basically, we don't want the skate park near our condominium development. My condo board is working on a resolution right now saying that they don't want the skate park. That's about 165 apartments. We want a golf course. All right. We just feel with the amount of money and only 20, 30 people have signed up for this skateboard thing, it's not worth it. All right. We'd rather have a golf course. We feel it's a better thing when we had it. It was a great thing in our area. We have the driving range land already set up. All right. If you want to put a driving range there. And basically we want a golf course. We don't want any skateboarding area. All right. Not near a residential area. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Hearing none, move on to approval of the minutes, of the previous board meeting held on December 1st.
Move to approve?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to regular business. Item number 1, the Boca Paddle update by Malcolm Butters.
Good evening. Is it on? Okay, thank you. Yeah, good evening. So, and happy holidays to all the commissioners and everybody here. Just a brief update and then a request for the board. So we're well underway construction. I told Brianne we're actually going to have the walls. It's a tilt wall, so they pour the walls and then lift them. January 19th, the walls should be rising, so that's exciting. I know the gentleman talked about the pickleball. I'm sure he's excited about that too. And so yeah, we're projected. Hopefully, we open up in the summer, and everybody is really excited. I think we got a couple hundred members already on a waiting list for membership, so that's exciting too. And so I'm here tonight to just seek your input and hopefully approval. So everything is the same. You know, as you know, we got approval for, and I'm going to go through it, but we got approval for, I think, originally 8 outdoor courts and 1 center court. And we're going to keep that, but we'd like to cover the courts outdoors in keeping with the gentleman's suggestion and great comments with Patch Reef and see how popular it is. It's come to our attention that maybe we should spend the money out of our pockets, of course, to just cover it. It doesn't change membership fees or anything. It just seems like we'll be able to use those courts more often on days like today. And the people seem to be very happy with Patch Reef. So we'll do a little quick presentation, get your input, and hopefully you approve of that idea. Is this gonna? Okay. So again, like I stated, our proposal here is not a good idea. Our proposal here is to cover half of the outdoor courts, and what that's going to entail is we're going to cover 4 of the paddle courts. We have padel courts outside, and then leave 4 outdoor pickleball courts. So we have some outdoor and indoor variety. As again, remember, indoor now we have, I believe, 14 indoor pickleball courts and 2 interior padel courts. So the advantages that we see, there's strong demand for the covered courts, of course. The padel courts got covered because most of them worldwide are covered, has to do with the glass walls that enclose it, the AstroTurf type of surface it's played on, and a lot of people that play it are lobbing the balls and turning around and hit them off of the walls. So there's a lot of movement, and the sun seems to be a problem. Also, we think by covering the center court, we could attract a little bit more tournaments. And also, I don't know if it's been formally announced, but the Palm Beach Royals, which is a major league pickleball team, is going to use Boca Paddle to play their game. So it's like Palm Beach County's first professional sports team, they tell me. And it's a major league pickleball team. So people like Ben Johns and Gabe Tardio, that they're in that league. So that's kind of exciting. And, you know, you need a little bit of an atmosphere. And you'll see some of the renderings that we're envisioning that'll accommodate that. So here's the original site plan that we had. And then you could see the next one, I think, it's the same building, of course. We altered some of the padel courts going more of an east-west direction versus a north-south. The pickleball courts on the outside are still oriented north-south. And here's a little bit of a, this is the layout showing both the indoor courts and the outdoor courts. So you could see on the top is the 4 outdoor padel courts that we want to cover. And then in the middle, I don't know if I have a pointer or not, but you could see in the middle part there is the center court. And then to the right is the 4 outdoor pickleball courts. So this was the original rendering of the exterior, uncovered. And that's another view of the original uncovered exterior. And this is, if we cover it, this is what the outdoor court would look like. Again, this is oriented on the east side of our project, which backs up to the railroad track. So again, the people from Boca Chica really have no effect. They would still see the original rendering. That's very nice. So this is really the only ones that's primarily affected is if you're traveling on Brightline. You know, that's the plus there's going to be landscaping along both on the north side and on the east side of this. A different view. This is kind of from the north looking south. More of a ground view now. Again, there's going to be landscaping. This is an initial rendering now. It's going to be open obviously on the side for ventilation, but it's like a translucent type of material that'll have some light. Again, an indoor view of it. And then an indoor view of that center pickleball court where we could host tournaments and the Palm Beach Royals. They've tentatively named that the Royal Court after the Palm Beach Royals, but you know, be able to accommodate a little bit of a grandstand area and a little bit of a like a little press box or viewing type of thing. Here is a ground level view of the pickleball courts from the south side. And this is just an architectural elevation, which not as easy to read as the renderings from before. But this is the view from the, if you're looking from the east looking west, a side view. And I think that's really about it. So here to just answer any questions, any suggestions, but hopefully you'd like the idea that we cover some of these courts, and here to answer any questions you got.
So with the sides coming down as far as they are, is that going to impede the airflow? And are you going to have the fans like we do at Patch Reef?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have the fans, and I think the sides have to come down a little because some of the feedback is from the sun that comes down when you're playing, depending on shade. There's always, again, the people that play a lot, and maybe this gentleman could attest to it. I think there's some difficulty in reading the ball depending on the light and also on the rain. So if you have a driving rain, if you have it covered, but the sides don't come down, it doesn't do you a lot of good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Butters, the outdoor pickleball courts, you said they're oriented, that they were originally east and west. Now you're going to orient them north and south. Is that?
The padel, the padel.
The padel,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But the pickleball courts still.
Are still going north-south, yeah.
Okay, all right. And there, how many of those were there? 4?
There's 4 outdoor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First, let me say, I think this is a great idea. How much time will, if any, will this add on to the construction period?
It's not going to affect us. You know, the manufacturer of the outdoor, he's ready to go. You know, we've started him on plans. We've already checked with the planning department for the city to see if there's any additional process that we need to go through. And Brandon Shad said we could approve, this is the director of community development, said we could approve this administratively. So we don't, it's not going to affect us. This is, a separate process, but, we have several months still to go. And we're anticipating open up in the summer with or without these things. So.
Craig?
Thank you, Malcolm. I think it's pretty good. My couple questions for you. First of all, just what is the material? Is that steel, aluminum, combination?
No, it's I think it's a special fabric material, and the manufacturer is out of Italy.
Okay.
So I could get you more details, though, Commissioner, if you want.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's your project. So this is like a fabricated material that is going over. It's gonna be
Over
stretched
steel.
Over
Over
steel.
steel, yes.
Okay. And you don't have to tell us, but I am kind of curious, how much is this additional cost?
$1 million.
$1 million to
Mhm.
add that onto it.
Yes.
Would you want to do that as well for the pickleball courts? If you change your mind later?
I think they would like to. We wanted to get some input here. But they were definitely talking about that. And then they were thinking, well, some people might like playing inside again. We have 14 indoor courts, pickleball courts. And they were thinking the variety. There are some people like to play outdoor still. And the padel guys like it outdoor, but I think the nature of that game is different than pickleball, and I'm not the expert on both, but there's a lot more lobs and going back and forth and hitting off the wall in padel, and the surface is not a hard surface, more of like a soft surface, like a turf. So that and the glass walls, it doesn't hold up to the elements as well as just a basic pickleball court.
Are you pretty confident it's going to hold up in a hurricane?
It has to be rated, so
Yeah. It's like,
the engineers like Miller Lake will tell us. So yeah, it has to meet the Dade County Hurricane Code. So
I don't know if you need a motion or anything like that, but I think my recommendation is, I think it's great. It's a great addition. It's additional cost to you and to the community as a benefit. And that I would suggest you approve as is. In addition, if you needed the pickleball courts covered and you change your mind to
Okay.
do that, to proceed accordingly. But
yeah, thank you.
I don't know
Yeah,
what the rest of the group
we
is
didn't
talking
know,
about.
Commissioner. We just came here because
Yeah.
we didn't want to go too far down the line. We had an idea. It's not going to slow us down, so we figure we'd get your input or any input from anybody else. And if it's okay, we'd keep proceeding.
We do need a motion to proceed.
Part of our agreement requires them to come in if they're changing anything to get your approval. So just memorialize that in a motion tonight.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Mr. Butters' change to the Boca paddle.
Second?
Okay. Ready?
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Nope. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 2, the North Park East Development Bid Award. Brianne.
Commissioners, page 5 of your agenda packets is a memo just briefly going over the bids that we received. We received 4 bids ranging from $29.3 to $49.1 million. As you all know, we budgeted $22.5 million for this project, so these all exceed our budget. I do want to remind everybody that over the course of this project between site plan and PWR, we've had over $4.5 million of additional items added by the city, and I know this gets characterized as though it's just trails going in. It's a lot more than just trails. There are multiple playgrounds. There's a dog park. There's restrooms, pavilions. A lot of vegetation has to go in, trees. People like shade when they're walking. There's also electricity and infrastructure that has to go into all these things. So it's not just trails. So when we characterize it like that, it does make it seem very high in price. There's, when you have a maintenance building, you have a tunnel that's required and all these things that drives your cost up. For context, the park at El Rio South that was built, that's a 15-acre park. The city spent over $7 million on that park, not lit at night, just 4 pickleball courts, some trails, playgrounds. Not a lot going on at that park. It's very passive there too. Wildflower Park is a 2-acre park. The city spent $11 million developing that park. So just for context, these things cost money. And
How many acres is that?
ours is 70 acres. So when you have a 70-acre park, and the Beach and Park District developed 40 acres of DeHornley Park back in 2012, and that was $14 million when all was said and done. And that was before the maintenance building was built out there. So for context, parks are expensive to build. There's a lot of infrastructure, and this particular property has the added benefit of needing soil remediation, which none of these other parks in Boca have required. So when we talk about the price and the scope, it's an expensive thing to develop this park, but this park is going to help property values in that area tremendously from where they're at right now. So these bids are obviously over our budget. I do believe that we can work to take some of this scope out of this project. I detailed some items that I think we can take down. But tonight I would just ask for a motion to reject all these bids. And then I'm going to ask for some direction to work with Miller Lake to reduce the scope. And then we'd like to rebid this the first week in January.
And just for the record, if I might add to Ms. Harm's comments, as we know, our bid specifications always reserve the right to the district to reject any and all bids in the event that the board finds it to be in our best interests.
Any comments or discussion?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I mean, first of all, I guess I'm as surprised as anyone about the costs. And I think there's an element of inflation. It's times have changed. When we looked at a golf course, we're talking about 20 million. It was then. But I do think, I look to the Miller Lake team that, I think this project is either over-engineered or overpriced or both. And I look at the bills that come in from Miller Lake. I look at the cost for a meeting, and I think it's a lot of money, and I'm expecting more. And I expect you to fully understand that we have a budget and that we have to be, $20 million is a lot of money to me. And I think it's plenty to, build out what we're looking for. So, but I'm no cost engineer. I realize there's some additional cost to be done on it. And I think we have to, go back and look at it in a slower approach. And I'm not sure, I question Miller Lake being on it because I just don't like the way this is coming out. And when I see a large mobilization fee and a large contingency fee, that just seems like wasted taxpayer money when it's been so carefully planned out for years. So I'm more than disappointed in what we've got back, but we're not in control of what we got back. I'm a little concerned about our whole process of how we just go out and get bids. I don't know how it's coming together, but it seems very extreme-ish. Something is wrong when you have one real low, one real high, two kind of still very high. We need to kind of work on this process a little bit. And there might be some common elements that are okay. And I do agree very much with the approach of let's cut back, let's go back to the city, and maybe we do some staged approach on some of these things, but we need to do better. And it's not our money. We have to really be guarded of the taxpayers' money because we're not going to be able to do, other things. If we commit to this, we are really not able to do it. And I applaud Mr. Butters for doing what he's done. He put in, 17 million, I think it was, into his project. I have no idea where he's coming at cost, but from a taxpayer perspective, this is a really big deal. And we still have to deliver a promised result. So my recommendation, I'm happy to make a motion to reject all the bids.
Well, why don't you make the motion there, Craig?
I did. I think I did. I reject all the bids. That's all you need.
And I'm seconding it.
There you go.
I have a question. A long while back, somebody came to public requests and volunteered their services for the mountain biking trails.
Yeah.
Are we able to utilize the public as far as the physical construction of these trails, or do we have them donate their time and some of their equipment?
We still plan on utilizing those people to help with the mountain bike trails. That's the least costly thing of all this. Most of it comes from a lot of the infrastructure that's required. There was a lot of, the soil remediation is also an unknown factor, which is why there was contingency in the project. But in general, I feel like we can take some things out. We don't need to have 2 playgrounds. We don't need to have all the landscaping that we wanted to have out there. We can add those things over the course of time. So I think there's ways that we can reduce the scope and get it down to the price point. But I do want to keep in mind that with $4.5 million, our recreation now, the recreation that we can build and the green space that we can build is less because of these added requirements.
Is there any chance the city would help us with that?
I'm going to talk to them. I can't commit to that because in the past, it's not been a consistent thing for them. So no.
Okay.
Steve first.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with Craig. We got to start from scratch. but in doing so, we really need to put on paper exactly what we want. And so this way, we're not, to use your word, the project isn't being over-engineered. That everyone, bidders, us, Miller Leg, we're all on the same page. We all know where we're going and how we're going to get there. So rejecting these bids and starting all over, we need to very closely take a look at what we want in the project and structure the bids accordingly.
Can we clarify starting all over? Because a lot of times things are taken out of context on social media. When you say starting all over, we're just going back to rebidding this project, not starting all over on design.
Right.
I just don't want somebody to take a clip of this and say that we're, going back to square one.
We're not starting all over. We are rebidding.
Yeah, maybe I'll clarify is that right now the motion on the table is just to cancel all bids. So that's kind of the way I'd like to leave it. I'd like to come back with a second motion about what to do after this.
Yes. Okay. Did we have a second? You second.
Bob.
Do roll call? Okay,
Please.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Now, the second item is just to talk about the scope of the project. Some items that we think we can take out and reduce. To lower this project would be to reduce some of the landscape and buffering. We don't need all the beautiful foliage out there right away. We can add those things. There's a lot of pavilions out there. We would just like to keep the restroom pavilions on site. I don't think we need all the extra pavilions. There's some extra site furnishings like picnic tables and benches. I mean, a lot of times in our parks, those that aren't covered don't get used. So that could be just excess that we don't need. There's a south playground. I thought the idea would be to remove that one, keep the one on the north side, and just keep the fitness area on the south side. The ninja course was over $1 million, so we can add that later on in the course of time. The north playground scope, I would reduce that scope and make it a little less more natural playground there. Obviously, the project contingency. There was a discussion about blue light call boxes that came up during one discussion. Not sure if we could bid that and just see if we wanted to continue. We have to look at some of the maintenance costs of those things and the necessity because we don't have that in any of other parks. So we'll just find out if that's going to be an added expense. And then some of the dog park features can come out. I feel like we can make these reductions and get it down to our price point. And then obviously, once we do award this bid, we can do more value engineering to save even more money if possible as we move forward with the project. So I guess just a discussion on that and then direction.
I don't think we need the blue light call boxes. We don't have them in any other parks. Why do we need them at this park? We're near residential neighborhood. I don't think they're necessary. Again, we don't have them in any other parks. Why do we need them here? I did hear that the playground was kind of fancied up, like very plasticky. If we tone it down and we just make it a more natural, cost-effective playground, kids will be excited if they have a tree trunk in the middle of the grass, right? So I think we focus on a natural, more cost-effective playground. It could still be fantastic for the kids. The ninja course was super cool, but it is $1 million. We can always add that later on too, if we choose to. So I think working on all these things and reducing the scope will help with the cost. But again, the city made us put in all these things that are almost $5 million, which again is like 20%.
And I am gonna talk to the city about these things now that we've seen the costs. So I don't want to say that nothing's gonna happen. I'm just saying historically nothing has happened when we've done that. So, but I'll give it a go.
Can't count on it.
Yeah. In particular, I'd like the city to revisit the need for a tunnel because an overpass or a traffic light, even better yet with a crosswalk, I think would work better and have the same end result as a tunnel. Tunnel is very expensive, not only to build, but to keep up. And I would much rather see a crosswalk with a traffic light that works, because it will also have the effect of slowing down traffic. And that to me is important as well. So maybe they would reconsider if we say please, or,
I'll try, please.
yeah,
I'll try that.
okay,
I haven't
thanks.
done that one yet.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Steve as far as the city list there. I think we're looking at different times now with, and a different relationship with the city than we've had in the last 20 years. And I would hope to give some alternatives here. The pedestrian tunnel largely is a suggestion due to the opening of Clintmore crossing the railroad tracks. And I'm just wondering if that's something that is still going to be pushed forward. And I hear some conversation about the fact that maybe with a change in the position on the council, we might end up having a little more flexibility with that. I would certainly try to push that with them, see if in fact they have an exact date that they're going to move forward with this, if in fact they will.
They are actively designing that now. They hired a contractor to do a design build. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a huge, and I don't know whether anything that a pedestrian crossing there could be safely done. I drive that road quite often, and there's an electronic sign that gives the speed limit of cars, and invariably it's 15, 20 miles an hour above the speed limit coming down that hill. And the traffic, I know, would be horrendous coming from the west to the east. And as the building continues to take place here, as far as residential development with mid-rise and high-rise structures, we're going to see more and more traffic at this part. And the other thing too is, folks, is that when we originally started talking about this project, different times, different costs, as time goes on, and the economy's improving, costs are going to go up, and I think that's probably some of that inflection point with the rates here. But I do agree that with Craig's motion about going back at it, but I think Miller Lake has listened to us. I don't have any issues with we give them the guidance, and they come back with what we are telling them that we need to look at. So that's all.
Okay.
So, my motion is to continue to work with Miller Lake and to continue to let Brianne and team work through what they can work out. And it's a twofold process. One, probably a reduction of the material and scope of it. And it also is working with the city to see what, in the beginning here, it's just you got 4 bids, and to me, inconsistency. Some have a 500,000 permitting fee, which who does that go to? The city.
Yes.
So it would be nice I get it. They can charge us a 500,000 for it, but maybe they'll give us a credit for the 3 million that we just paid them today, or soon to pay them for. I think there's opportunity that it would be nice if we worked together on the project, including the tunnel, if that's what they really want, including the road, if that's what they really want. We need a little help on some of these things. So it's a collaborative effort on all of it. And then focus on the inconsistencies between these to guide you on where you're going. There's one bidder has, for whatever reason, all the fencing is double the price as everyone else. I don't know why. I mean, to me, if you got 4 bids and you're talking about chain link fence, it's chain link fence. It's a square foot price, and that's what you have to pay.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of there's opportunity to work through these things and rebid it in a way that, open kimono, this is it. But I'm not a big fan of contingency or mobilization, to be honest with you. But whatever it is, that's their profit. I get it, but it's also a big number relative to everything. When you think about, they're going to hire contractors, and then they're going to add on 10% to someone else. So they're already getting plenty of money on this project. So calling it whatever you want, we just have to kind of, your budget is 22.5 million. Let's try to get there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right, but just so you know, that's how the bidding process works. That's why you have such a range, because the contractors are coming in and estimating what they are going to estimate their work to be, right? And there's supposed to be a range, right? So you can go through and say, okay, well, this person prices it this way, this, and so I think that's how it's supposed to work. You're not supposed to have 4 bidders come in and all of them be exactly the same.
But part of it is our process. If you go down this nice government process of here's the bids, pick the lowest bidder, that
Well,
sends you in a different route.
We're not required to pick the lowest bid. That's like
But that's a normal business practice.
It's normal government practice, but we are allowed to pick the most responsive and responsible bidder, even if it's not the low bid, just so everybody's clear, like we're not required to ever just go with the low bid. And we do write that in our specs, but yeah, the statute does put a lot of different requirements on the bid process for governments, for sure.
Yes, but if you were to, even if you're just from a normal business practice, if you were to go bid something and you tell, I'm going to go, once you lock in on the lowest bid, you're locked in for the lowest bid, and then you're working with them. There's no incentive from that contractor to work with you on anything. Look, I've done plenty of negotiations over many years in all different countries, and it's far better to work with multiple people and work together to say, okay, what is it? Get the common elements down and know where their profit is, know where their costs is. What's common costs? You could throw all this into AI and you should know what the fence costs. And that should be pretty basic, you know, so they're going to get a fence contractor to implement it. But what I'm saying is a lot of different components of this. Is very big. Yes, we do need some expertise from Miller Lake, but we need some guidance with them too. So it's going to be in your hands to do it.
Yeah, we'll get it down to the bid, to the budget. I'm sure of that.
So where are we right now?
I just need a direction if you wanted. I don't know if we need a motion. We're just direction.
No, if there's consensus, I think Brianna can take the collective discussions, consensus from the board without objection, she'll proceed in that direction.
And then I'll continue talking to each of you individually when I hear back from the city about certain things.
I'm satisfied with that.
Okay. Moving forward with that. Okay, closing regular business, moving on to approval of payroll and invoices.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval of invoices, payroll and invoices in the amount of $4,621,241.21.
Second,
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Reports and discussion items, executive director.
Commissioners, at our last meeting, I thought I was going to have information together tonight for the electric car chargers. I'm going to come back in January with that. I got a little sidetracked over the last couple of weeks with North Park. So we'll work on that. There's a lot of information we're trying to put together there. We will have construction costs ready for the renovations at Patch Reef Community Center in January as well. I think we'll be well under the budget that the board gave for that project. I attended the event that was held at Wildflower on Saturday to recognize contributors to the city centennial. As you guys know, the centennial is wrapping up. They unveiled some new mosaic art out there as well as a mural under the bridge walkway, and it looks really nice at Wildflower. The district was recognized for its partnership with the city for the centennial, so it was a nice event. Consistent with our goals and objectives that we set this fiscal year, we talked about getting a customer service survey out to all of our parks and facilities. So we made a little QR code. We have a little survey out at Patch Reef at the new racket and paddle and racket club at Patch Reef. So we put those out there. We've gotten a few surveys back. And then I just today got delivered the QR codes to put up at Sugar Sand Park. So we're going to start the second survey and start getting that feedback back. So that has been, we are actively working on those goals and objectives for this fiscal year, as well as doing all these other things that we're working on. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the staff at Patch Reef at the paddle and racket club there, they also have a survey out just to get information back about how things are working for people, because it's a new facility, new programming, just seeing how people feel about it. And then I just I want to wish everybody happy holidays and a healthy new year.
Thank you. Council?
And we'll just echo Brianna wishing everybody very happy holidays and happy new year. We have nothing to add on the legal side. Thank you.
Okay, Steve?
Yeah, just one question for Brianne. We're still doing a statistically valid survey.
That's for recreation in general, yes.
Yeah.
So we're working with the city on getting a company together, and we'll talk more about those questions and upcoming meetings about how we want to put that out there. Yeah, I mean, the survey, I think one of our residents from Boca Chica pointed out that things have changed in Boca, especially with P3s and things like that. So obviously the needs have probably changed too, as far as recreational needs. So I think it's important that we do a statistically valid survey and find out, make sure we're building the right things out there. So yes, we are working on those questions. That's a separate thing. That was a separate, this was just part of our goals and objectives was the customer service survey.
Okay. And on that note, I want to wish everyone a very happy, peaceful, and meaningful holiday season, and see you guys all next year.
Thank you. Craig?
The, the survey, just kind of clarifying it, is really it's a 3-question customer satisfaction.
Yep.
That it can be scored, and it's a very simple scoring thing. So it's a great thing from measuring performance of how customers feel about our parks. If it works well, we'll get the feedback if they get used to it and they want to use it or not.
We made it very simple for people, so
Yeah.
there's not a lot of time. It's anonymous, so we're not collecting emails or personal information. It's very quick. Sugar's Hand has one extra question because it kind of asks which areas they visited. So we can get an idea of that, but the surveys are quick. There is a spot where you can add extra information. Everybody that's taken it at Patch Reef so far has used that spot to write in extra feedback, so it's all good information to get.
Is it possible for you to share that with us?
I will send, I was gonna do it like monthly, put
Yeah, a monthly
together
basis.
a report, yeah. Yep.
That would be good. So, but thank you very much for doing that. I think it's a good step of just always quizzing where can we do better, but
Agreed.
from an overall perspective, it's been a phenomenal year for the group. And thank you very much to Melissa, Brianne, and Joanne, and the whole team, Brian. Just kind of doing all the things we've accomplished has been fabulous. I mean, things are kind of coming out of the ground in different ways, in different forms. And even though we're like family, we don't always agree on everything, but we get along and we come to the right conclusions. And so thank you very much for putting up with me and dealing with all this stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a real challenge, Greg. Yeah, I'm just teasing that if we weren't such a collegial group, I couldn't kid Craig like that. But well, it's been an interesting year. It's been a challenging year. I've had 3 of the longest meetings that I've had in the 30, 40 years I've been on this commission. But I think that we've, through the process, have accomplished a great deal. Like Steve said, I wish everybody a happy, healthy holiday season, and look forward to a new year and doing new great things for the district.
And happy holidays to everyone and a healthy 2026. A big thank you to our staff, our council, and to all of you for all that we have accomplished. I think we've done a really good job, and I think we have a long way to go, but we have great leadership over there in Brianne. So I have high hopes that we'll get to where we want to go in 2026.
Me too.
I just echo all of your thoughts, and yes, it's exhausting. So I need some time off. So thank God for the holidays. And that's it. Thank you to everybody.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Yeah, done.